welcome to Bent TV. I'm Malice, and I'm going to be bringing you a few things this evening, a few different bits out of the bag. And the first one is entirely powered by Ginni, which includes, of all things, a Pussycat doll. I can't wait to see this one.
This is Ginni on Bent TV, and thank you for having me on your airways, this time with the visual. I'm normally on radio on Joy 94.9 with my show Her Society, but my face for radio is now making an appearance on TV, and who better to show up my pretty face than probably one of the prettiest girls in the world from probably one of the hottest girl bands in the world, the Pussycat Dolls. Yes, joining me in the studio is a lady who's made your bottle pop. You probably wish your girlfriend was hot like her. I certainly did at a certain time in my life. Sorry to my ex-girlfriend who is probably watching this right now. She's in Australia at the moment. She's going to show me how it's done. Jessica Sutta, welcome to Bent TV.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thank you. I'm sorry I couldn't incorporate more of your songs in that introduction.
That's okay.
I thought I would kind of ease you into it. So tell me, you seem to like Australia quite a bit. You're here quite often.
I love Australia. It's like my second home, honestly. I've been here, I don't know, 10 times this year.
I've got to say as well, with Australia, a lot of people tell me that it reminds them a lot of America, but the people are much nicer. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
People are more sincere here, and they're beautiful souls. And I'm from Florida, so when I first came to Australia, it reminds me so much of Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I've got to say, too, a lot of the creative energy here in Melbourne reminds me a lot of New York. Would you agree with that, too?
I would absolutely agree with that. I love New York. And, you know, it's like there's so much art in the architecture and everything. It's just very inspiring. I like coming here. Yeah.
Well, you were here recently a couple of months ago. You performed at a pre-tour show. How was it in Melbourne? Like, people seem to respond to your music quite well.
It was awesome. I had a great time at Bling, and yeah, the crowd was really fun. And yeah, it was the beginning of, you know, I couldn't really introduce my new music just yet.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, you know, pre-tour.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Well, we'll get to your new music in a moment, but one question I've wanted to ask you is, given that you're from a multi-platinum selling girl band, which pretty much toured with Lady Gaga, Havana Brown, you guys won Grammys, do you kind of still have to wash off that kind of girl band persona off you lately? Are you finding that?
You know, I feel like it was the most amazing experience and the best training in the entire world. And it's still a part of me. I still love when people call me a Pussycat doll. I have a doll tattoo on my ankle.
Oh,
you know?
wow.
I'm a doll for life.
Yeah.
I learned so much from all the girls. And, yeah, I mean, it was definitely weird to perform by myself and not have 6 other girls around me. But, yeah, I found my way, and I really love it.
I was reading a lot of stuff online about the Pussycat doll breakup, and there was a lot of controversy and maybe rumours that weren't necessarily true.
Of course.
But when I Googled it, your name did not come up in any of the controversy whatsoever. In fact, any of the live interviews that you did on video, you actually didn't say anything bad about any other member other than the fact that you just wanted to pursue your own solo career.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's been 4 years that we've been broken up, and I feel like I'm a totally different person at this moment. I've grown up, you know, and all of us have really grown up.
Yeah.
It didn't end badly. It was just, you know, it was the end of a 7-year run, which was unbelievable. And I look back on it now, and I just love the girls so much. All of them. I miss all of them a lot.
Fantastic. Now, your new music, we're really excited because I heard one of your tracks in January at Bling, Make It Loud. It sounds really, really hot.
Thank you.
So tell me, your new stuff, it's pretty much, you're probably breaking out more into the dance charts, would you say, and to the club charts?
Absolutely. Well, you know, I love dance music. That's all I really listen to. Yeah, and also I've really delved into writing. That's what I want to do. I love it, and I believe like my new music is really, really showing who I am and my life experience.
Fantastic. Is it a very churning process for an artist to, because you kind of have to take off the mask from a Pussycat doll, though keep it with you as you're going through your creative process.
Absolutely.
Is it churning for you to kind of go, okay, I'm just going to be me now, get rid of all those other masks?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm definitely coming into my own, but I think people always kind of have the association that I was in the group.
Yeah.
But I don't have a problem with that, because I thought the group was really hot.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people would agree with that.
Okay.
But I've got to say, too, like, group aside and you going forward with your new music, you were speaking, like, before off air about how you want to take this creative process to a different level. Like you were talking about Lady Gaga and a creative process.
Right.
Is that something you want to implement for your things?
Absolutely. I feel like, you know, coming from such a huge girl band and then transitioning to a solo artist, you know, it's not quite the same budget.
Yeah.
But, you know, Lady Gaga really inspired me because she opened for us in the Pussycat Dolls, and I watched her grow. And she would do these small club gigs for like 200 people, and people didn't even pay attention to her, but she had this storyline and this thing to her stage, and it was unbelievable. And I would love to do that with my show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because we only gave her 3 feet of stage when she opened for us, but she managed to make sure she had visuals and dancers, and
wow.
Yeah, she took you through a journey, and I think that's what's most important as an artist.
Well, it's all about storytelling, really, isn't
Absolutely.
it? Your own story, which we all can relate to on some level.
Yeah.
So, wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Now, I've got to ask you, you've been to Australia a few times. You've tried Vegemite?
Ugh.
Okay. That's a general consensus from guests. What's up with the Vegemite hating?
What's up with Vegemite?
Do not ditch the icon on our home turf. But yeah, look, it is a very acquired taste, I have to say.
It is.
Have you had the Tim Tam Slam Dunk?
No, but that sounds delicious.
The Tim Tam is outside. I might
Okay.
actually get you to do a dunk with me. You can't leave Australia without doing that.
But you don't dunk it in like Vegemite, do you?
We can dunk it in something else. No, we dunk it in coffee.
Oh,
and you
yeah.
kind of use it as a straw.
Ooh.
It's really, really good.
I knew I loved Australia.
So you're going to be back here a bit more often then?
I am. I plan to be here a lot.
Yeah.
It's my second home.
Absolutely.
For
We
sure.
love having you here too, and we can't wait to see what you're going to do with your new music and your new
Thank you.
creative aspects. So we'll definitely be seeing Jessica Sutta around, if not at the Bent TV studios here in Australia. So this has been Ginni on Bent TV. We'll catch you next week.
Wasn't that fantastic? Love a bit of Pussycat doll action, and we will be right back after these messages. Hi and welcome back to Bent TV. We're about to go into a segment on Melbourne Queer Film Festival, and there's more of me in it, and I'm joined by another fellow Bent TVer, Gavin, and we are talking to festival director Lisa Daniel about all things MQFF. Enjoy. Hi there, I'm Malice, this is Gavin, and we're joined by the very funky festival director of Melbourne Queer Film Festival, Lisa Daniel. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So we would like to start out with pretty simple question about MQFF. Where do you get your films from?
Oh, well, I'd like to say we popped down to the local Blockbuster and picked up a DVD the night before, but that would make it too easy. So, look, we put out a call for entries around about sort of June.
Yep, sure.
July, August. We do it a couple of times, and we basically get people sort of sending in from all over the world. We do sort of have a look at other festivals. I go overseas once a year. I go to Frameline, which is the San Francisco Queer Film Festival, which is the biggest one in the world.
Yeah, sure.
And I go film shopping there. Hard job. Pretty tough.
Can I have
So I
your
do that
job,
for 2
Lisa?
weeks.
That'd be great.
So it's a variety of things. So it's the call for entries. It's my network. You know, it's really important to develop a really good network, and just going to other festivals and looking at what other festivals are screening.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, that would be the
fun.
funnest bit, I think.
Yeah, the travel is fun. It is good fun.
Yeah.
So watching so many films, not so much fun.
Really? Do you get over it after a while?
You do, yeah. It actually has kind of spoilt my enjoyment of other films outside of the Queer Film Festival. So because you're seeing so many things. I mean, we get about 650 submissions. We only screen 160. So we're saying no to a lot of stuff. We're also seeing a lot of awful stuff. So
Okay, so when you're seeing, you know, a film for yourself, are you still in your brain going, oh, this is not good enough?
I just want to fast forward through the exposition where someone's driving somewhere and it doesn't really matter. Like, you know, just fast forward through that. So it does, look, it makes it tough. It does make it tough. So
That's annoying.
but, you know, it's a small price to pay for having a job that, you know.
Lets you go around the world.
Yeah,
sure.
That's true.
Yeah.
Very true.
We're saying that the LGBT community is so diverse. Now, are you the only person that's selecting the film, or how you actually go to get together?
Yeah, we have a
decide?
selection panel of there's about 10 of us, and I try to make that selection panel quite diverse. I mean, you know, we are a queer community, but we're not all the same. It is a very, as you say, it's a very diverse community. Like, we don't all like Kylie, we don't all like Melissa Etheridge, etc., etc. So creating a film festival for a very diverse and spread out audience is kind of tough, because, you know, you're trying to please as many people as you can. So we have a selection panel of about 10. I'm the boss of that. And
Good position to be in.
so I get the final say over the titles. So because there's so many things to see, there's, as I said, 650 submissions. they really just get to see things that I'm not so sure about, or if, you know, I just need a second opinion on and things like that. They probably see about 150 of the 650 submissions. So I sort of weed out all the stuff that is just not going to make a cut at all, and then we go from there. So, yeah, so it's tough trying to get a diverse group. I mean, it's quite a big commitment. It's every Monday night for 6 months of the year, and then I send homework home, so it's about 4 or 5 hours a week. So, yeah, and I know it sounds like fun, but you do go through 6 weeks or weeks at a time where you just see nothing but rubbish, and you just think, how are we going to make a festival out of this?
Yeah.
And, you know, then a gem will pop up, and you think, oh, thank God, you know, we can, you know, we've got a great film here.
Faith is reaffirmed.
Yeah, our faith is reaffirmed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Speaking of faith and reaffirming it, what's the current state of lesbian cinema?
Well, not great.
Yeah,
I would really like to say that it's improving, but I mean, I've been in the industry for 15 years, and it really hasn't gotten any better. You know, it kind of reflects patriarchal society, really. I hate to get all sort of sociological and political on you, but, you know, there's not a lot of money in films about women anyway.
Yeah.
Like, you don't see a lot of films about women in Hollywood, so you don't therefore get to see them about lesbians. So look, that is the toughest part of my job, is to get really good lesbian features, and so sometimes we don't have an equal split in terms of gender or sexuality, because I don't really believe also in putting things into the festival just because they're lesbian.
Yeah, if
the quality is not there, then they're not going to make the cut, because I just think that's patronising to an audience. So, you know, the good news is that trans films are really coming to the fore. We're getting some fantastic trans titles. Look, over the past 5 years, when I first started, it was so hard to get good trans material, and you were just getting, you know, lots of transitional stories about, you know, having gender surgery and that sort of thing. Now we're kind of moving on, we're getting great stories just about, you know, being trans. So,
great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, we are saying that there are more gay films, but we are saying that is actually changing, or that there are parts of the film industry that is in fact reducing, like the lesbian.
Yeah, look, I don't think lesbian film quality or quantity has reduced. It just kind of has stayed the same, whereas we're seeing more and more great quality gay stuff from around the world. I think films like Weekend, which was really popular about a year ago, Brokeback Mountain kind of changed things a little bit, but not a lot. I mean, we had The Kids Are All Right a couple of years ago, or a few years ago, the lesbian film. It hasn't changed a thing. Transamerica changed a few things, but, you know, we're not seeing... You know, when I hear people complain that there's gays everywhere on the TV now, well, that's television. Film is very different, and we're still not awash with queers on television, are we? So,
it's interesting.
Yeah, look, we're still definitely minority, and we still really need a queer film festival because of that. I think that's...
And, okay, so you said there was some trans content. What about bi? Is there any much bi representation?
It is actually hard to get good bi stuff as well, but we have got a couple of really good things this year. There's a fantastic feature called The Sex of the Angels, which is a South American film, which is both about being bisexual but also about a polyamorous relationship. So really, really good. Young cast, really well made, fantastic film.
Awesome. Well, that's something to look forward to. Cool.
Yeah.
Are there changes we can expect from the festival this year?
We actually do have a lot of changes this year, mostly kind of structural. Like, we haven't really changed what seems to work really well in terms of the size of the festival, the quality of the festival, and the things we do in terms of panels and, you know, opening nights. You know, we still open and we close and we have parties and that sort of thing. But we have changed things in terms of how the festival works, in terms of ticketing. We've added a cinema this year. We're screening at Hoyt's, Melbourne Central this year instead of Greater Union, because we're always worried that that's going to close at any second. It's been around for a long time. It's not a great place to screen film, unfortunately. It doesn't have a lot of formats that we need. Hoyt's, Melbourne Central has all the modern technology. It's right in the middle of the city, so that's fantastic. Of course, we're still at ACME, which is our cultural partner. It's a fantastic venue. So we've changed that. We've changed our ticketing system completely. It's all printed home tickets, all on your smartphones.
Wow.
You can buy things on the app. Dangerous, I know. I might as well look at that or buy that. So, you know, it'll be a lot easier to buy a ticket to the festival this year, and to actually just come along with your smartphone and get in at the door and that sort of thing. So,
okay, so you just front up with your phone and
or you know, you can print it at home if you want to. So we've also got a new festival lounge, which is in Beer Deluxe next door to ACME. So lots of exciting changes.
Yeah,
very exciting. I think, you know, you'll see the great quality still is maintained, but I think you'll see some new surprising things that are, you know, we're doing to add on to the quality and the experience of the festival, and to make it a great experience, not just about film but about everything else.
Excellent. Thank you. That was great, Lisa. We are looking forward to all of that action over the festival. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed looking at more of me. And if you want to drop us a line at Bent TV, feel free to at feedback@benttv.org.au, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Bent TV, and we're going to be looking at a story on a spoken word artist who is touring with Midsummer. Let's check it out now.
You're on Bent TV. I'm Sammy Whitehead. I'm joined by writer Urszula Dawkins. Welcome to Bent.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, wonderful. Now, tell us a little bit about some of your work.
Okay, I've been writing for about 15 years and I've done lots of spoken word performance, and I guess what I do is a kind of hybrid. It's fiction, non-fiction, it's very lyrical and sort of poetic prose. Yeah, and I guess I'm interested in emotional landscapes is what I write about a lot, but very connected to geographical landscapes as well. I guess it's sort of weird places and how they reflect all the weird things that go on inside us.
Oh, fascinating.
Yeah.
Now, you've just published a book, What She Wants.
Yes, I have, and that is not an ordinary book, it's an artist book, which I've done with a fantastic visual artist called Peter Lysiotis. So it's basically it's an edition of only 10 copies. So it's this huge book, which just to give you it's just all very handmade. Each copy actually cost about $2,000 to make, like it's crazy, but it's an art object, so that's an area that I'm getting really interested in because it just feels like it fits what I do much better than the sort of the novel. Like, I'm not a novelist. Yeah. So that's
wow.
that. Yeah.
Now, the importance of being involved with something like Midsummer and being able to perform there for you.
What can I say? Midsummer, I just think it's incredibly important, and the sort of, like, I suppose for the whole time I've been writing Hares and Hyenas, I've been doing Word Is Out seasons through Midsummer, and just that connection, it's just amazing because I think it's where writers, well, certainly for me, and I think where lots of writers get a chance to try stuff out, you get a chance to you develop an audience, you see what other writers are doing, and especially as queer writers where we've all got, I don't know, I suppose it makes the it makes the mainstream a little bit harder when you're queer.
Yes.
Because even if you're sort of accepted in the mainstream, there's always that focus on the queerness, whereas it's sort of like just being in your own territory, I suppose. I just think Midsummer, especially how it's grown in the last 20 years or so, it's just amazing.
That feeling of being within your tribe.
Totally, and not sort of having to be making excuses for who you are or explaining who you are or what you're doing, but definitely just at an artistic level, just being able to develop, you know, because like community festivals like Midsummer are the pathways, I guess, to the bigger things or the broader things that we do in the world. So,
absolutely.
yeah.
Now, what are you going to be reading for us today?
Well, I've just started, not just started, but I'm just starting a new work, having sort of finished What She Wants. I'm making another book called Wandering. And so this is a little extract which I sewed up with my sewing machine. A little extract from the first story in Wandering called Atmospheres.
I'm looking forward to hearing it.
Okay, here I go. As Ella opens the door to me, I'm swept into the rush of our reunion. I have ascended the stairs with my bag clunking its wheels up step after step. The banister curves up through hollow space made briefly grand by a flood of timed fluorescent light. I let go the suitcase and we hug, exclaiming and releasing one another. A figure stands behind her as though waiting to be introduced, aloof, a luff like a sail, not moving but not still, rustling, flapping in the breeze, a wave passing from one end to the other and back again. In the city of ships, I looked up and there you were, your troubled eyes absorbing your surroundings, which now held me, a visitor. I took in your face, which didn't seem friendly so much as precious, a vase, and eyes blue but weighted, heavy and deep. I recognised the shape of your body, its clothing hanging loose to accentuate the sharp folds of your limbs, and knew how it would feel to place a hand on your waist, upon the soft grey knit folding under my pressed fingers. Your lips were bleached, your fingers too. You hovered and retreated, having strung your gaze across the space to mine and released me. The doorway continued to hold you, its rectangular frame setting up a shimmer of nothing where you had been. We drank coffee, Ella and me, as the big windows squared off the weather into patches of market square and leafless branch. Bread and cheese and coffee, there being no more travelling. Only the kitchen, the salt on the table in a small dish, the smell of warm grounds and honey. 3 things about Anton. She is split with yearning. The diffuse white mist of her baths permeates the evenings, and she tells me feelings are atmospheres. In halting versions of each other's languages, we build meaning in the clouds that we breathe as we walk. We swim at a local pool where there are no lanes, only oblivious swimmers in a kind of Brownian motion, clumsy and oblique. We wash off the chlorine in a tiled communal room. Her back is mottled white and brown, the vertebrae clearly numbered beneath the skin. On a footbridge over a surging road, she talks about the weather of emotions. Hers is the longing of a twin caught in the endless gust of separation. She takes me to a long, wide boulevard, a sailor's playground of red lights and gaudy windows. We cross beneath the river in an ancient tunnel, our hands sliding along chipped tiles until we reach the centre, marked with an oxidised plaque. On the harbour side of the river, the mist coats everything. The city is nowhere in sight. On the white river, under white sky, lies a white ship. The scent of oil fuel dissipates. I stand at the angled corner of a railing, hands sticking to icy metal, breathing in the white air. We hover between the warmth and the mist, between the known every day and the known but floating beyond. There is a small hallway between my room and Anton's, between Ella's room in the kitchen, between bathroom and broom closet. It is there that we meet, in its long, furrowed fields, and when Ella is at work it is there, sometimes, where the phone bleats, scaring us both in our silence. The tree outside the window is still. Its trunk is black, flaring into dark green where lichens bloom. Its penny-coloured leaves have all browned, but in this climate they remain dead and wet on the tree. There are birds in the branches, sparrows and something like a magpie. The courtyard is silent but for the flit and stalk of these birds. What do I belong to? The cold bites my shoulders. Naked to the ice, I would not last an hour in this wetness and the bright bite on my cheeks. I am a ball of warmth, but the rooftops are disappearing in the swirl. There is a white ship on the white river, and I'm feeling my way, as though blinded, over the surface of a frozen earth with sensitive fingers.
That was very interesting, wasn't it? And if you are interested in becoming part of Bent TV, we would really love to hear from you. If you'd like to hit up our website, which is benttv.org.au, and check out the links about how to volunteer, we would love to see you helping us out here. And we'll see you next week, same time.